He is the host of nationally syndicated radio show, Kevin McCullough Show, co-host of nationally syndicated weekend broadcast with Stephen Baldwin, and the CEO of Extreme Media. He is a twice best-selling author, Fox News contributor, columnist for townhall.com, and keynote speaker for the 9/12 Tea Party here in Washington, D.C. Some of you may have attended. So without further ado, I'd like to first introduce Kevin McCullough.
Good morning, CPAC. Glad you're with us. That's not going to do. We're getting rowdy up in here this hour. Good morning, CPAC. At 9/12 last year in D.C., we were reminded only 3 days before 9/12. By the way, how many of you came to 9/12 on the Mall? You remember that 3 days before that, President Obama had said we were all lying about his health care plans and telling our friends all a bunch of untruths about things, right? Remember that?
Don't pay attention to those scary stories about how your benefits will be cut.
And then he said he was going to call us out.
Misrepresent what's in this plan, we will call you out.
And we showed up. Washington today. We're talking about saving freedom for the next generation. We're talking about the greatest task being asked of any generation to be passed on to those that are 30 and under. In the history of our nation, the greatest task that's ever been asked of a single generation, with perhaps the exception of the World War II generation. Unfortunately, this enemy, in many ways, doesn't come from foreign elements, but resides in the halls of academia, and of legislatures, and of judiciaries that have ignored the people that sent them there. And that's you and me. The problem is, now we're asking those that are 30 and under to step up to the plate and to solve the problem that my generation and my parents' generation did not have the courage to correct. So how do we do that? How do we do that with a clear conscience and a straight face? How do we do that and empower that group that says, I want to be involved. I know about social networks. I know about internet and technology. I know about things and can be used for the cause. And yet the best that Washington, D.C. can do is say, go become someone's intern. And then an associate press director. And then if we give you permission, someday we might let you make a decision about something. We're here to say right now, at this very moment, at this CPAC, this generation doesn't have to wait in line anymore. We're here to say, and I'm here to predict, that it is the energy of the under 30 generation this day that in their time will see the end and the fall of Roe v. Wade. I am here to predict that in the elections of 2010 and in the elections of 2012, we're going to see a magnificent, energized, articulate, smart, non-teleprompter needed generation go to their friends, talk to their professors on campus, challenge assumptions that have not been allowed to be challenged. They will not sit at the back of the bus. They will not take no for an answer. Why do I know this? Because they are here today at CPAC. But how do we go about empowering them? If my generation failed, how do we go about giving them the tools to do what they need to do? My solution is simple. Get with them, encourage them, power them, or get the hell out of the way. It is not the time to let ego override the purpose. It is not the time to say, you didn't wait your turn in line. It is not the time to say, you haven't gone through all the things that I have in my mediocre existence in public policy. Is it any surprise that 52% of the American people said this week that President Obama doesn't deserve a second term? Is it any bigger surprise that 63% of the American people said throw everyone in Washington, D.C. to the curb and start over again? Now, I'm a pragmatist. If you're a Jim DeMint, I'll fight like mad to keep you right where you are. But you know, I'm not that terribly disturbed that Mr. Hayworth is stepping forward in Arizona. I'm not that terribly disturbed that Sarah Palin keeps getting shot at and her book sales keep making more and more money and people keep turning out to hear her speak everywhere. And I'm not terribly disturbed at all that right now Governor Mike Huckabee in a head-to-head poll against President Obama, if the election was held today, would beat him by 6 points. See, the truth is, this generation understands the score. They just need a little encouragement. They need a little bit of empowering to say, don't hold me back. Let me turn my Twitter feed on and watch magic happen. And if you don't know what Twitter is, turn to the person next to you and make note to check it out when you get back home and turn on those interwebs. It's time, friends. And that's not to say to those of you in this room and to Mr. Keene and to CPAC and the people that have been faithful all this time to champion the message and fight the good fight that you haven't done a great job. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is the fight is the greatest of our lifetime for the principles that made America uniquely America. What we are saying is the challenge facing that 30 and under generation is the most demanding philosophical challenge that has been asked of a generation of their age. And unfortunately, the enemy that they must fight is a philosophical one that has educated our children in public schools, that has taken over the college classrooms, that has passed law after law in our legislatures, and has said by the judicial order, we don't care. We'll do it the way we want to. Friends, it's time to send one clear message to Washington, D.C. We don't work for them. They work for us. Likewise, it's time to say to the generation that is begging to be led into the equation, go get her done. Let it happen. Thanks for being here.
Push, 'cause it might fall and it just might change your life. You're on the edge, now take one